Japan is one of my favorite countries to travel to, and Japanese food is some of my favorite food to eat, but it wasn't always that way. My first trip to Japan, I was really concerned about the food. I was so concerned about the food, I brought a whole bunch of power bars to eat with me because I was convinced I was going to starve the whole time. But you know what? There's a lot of great food in Japan, even more than just sushi. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you 11 delicacies you must try when you visit Japan. And yes, I'm going to start with sushi. But if you don't like seafood, don't worry, there's more. The sushi in Japan, out of this world. Well, it's not out of this world. It's Japanese. It's where sushi is from. But if you've ever had sushi before and not liked it because you got it at some really cheap sushi place, give sushi in Japan a try. You might change your mind. That's what I did. I hated sushi for the first 24 years of my life until I came to Japan and had what real sushi tastes like, and then my mind was absolutely blown and absolutely changed. Now, when I come back to the US, I can't eat any of that gas station or supermarket sushi anymore. Chris, did you really eat supermarket at the gas station? No. But the supermarket sushi, well, that's what people would try to feed me. And I'm like, this isn't good at all, because it isn't. Also, you can consider not just getting your sushi in sushi form, but you can get it in seafood bowl form. Seafood bowls are really popular, where you get a bowl of rice and then they put seafood up on top. I usually find seafood bowl places are a little less stuffy than sit-down sushi places. Okay, definitely OC Girl's favorite thing to eat when she's here after sushi is noodles. Japan has a lot of different noodles. Ramen, probably the most famous variety. These are egg noodles. Udon, these are flour noodles. And soba, buckwheat noodles, generally served with soup, but you can often get them in the soupless variety. You can also get many of these in a cold soup too if it's a hot day. Not ramen. Ramen and cold soup would be kind of weird, but udon and soba, you can get cold versions of those. You can never go wrong with meat on a stick. Yakitori is what they call meat on a stick that's generally grilled over charcoal fire. You also can't go wrong with pork that's been breaded and fried. They call that katsu. If you want to get it in a bowl with rice with some egg, that's a katsudon. A restaurant chain that I really love in Japan, but unfortunately has been dwindling in their numbers, is called Pepper Lunch. They make these really great sizzling beef rice plates. For dessert, I love the pudding in Japan. The pudding at the convenience stores is good, but the pudding at dedicated pudding shops is even better. Yes, there are stores in Japan that all they sell is pudding. And if you've never had Japanese pudding, you should try it while you're here. It's another one that'll change your mind completely about what pudding can taste like. One of my favorite desserts just to get on the quick is taiyaki right here. This thing that looks like a fish. It's literally a fish. It comes with like different fillings inside. It's hot. And so my favorite filling is custard, but you can get it with like red bean and sweet potato. A little warm. And it's got that custard filling. It tastes like a creme brulee. Tasty. Fruit is also amazing in Japan, but also amazingly expensive. Think like if you're getting a pack of 10 strawberries to spend $20 on that pack of 10 strawberries. If you're getting like a melon, like a cantaloupe or a honeydew type melon, like an orange or green melon, you might be paying $20, $30, or $40 for that melon. Is it worth it? I mean, the taste is probably going to be the best melon or the best strawberry you've ever had. You'll have to decide whether it's worth the price, but I think it's worth the price to at least taste it. If you're at a hotel that has a breakfast buffet, definitely stock up on the strawberries and the melons. Oh, and the grapes too. They're really good as well. They're really big into matcha everything here. Matcha is a type of green tea, and you get matcha not just to drink, but also to eat, like matcha ice cream. You get like matcha crepes. I got a matcha crepe the other day that had some matcha ice cream in the crepe. At first look, you might look at the crepe and it looks green, and so you might think it's spinach. It's not. It's matcha. Now, Japan certainly has the type of restaurants that you sit down and you order from a server. They've got the types of restaurants that you order at a counter. They've also got restaurants that you order at a vending machine. The way that works is you go in, right at the front, or maybe outside, there'll be a vending machine. You put your money in, usually these are cash only, and then you push a button of the food that you want. It spits out a ticket, and then you take that ticket and you place it where you're seated, and then the server comes and picks up those tickets, and that's your order. Japan has a lot of bars. The most kind of like Japanese-style bars are called izakayas. Izakayas in the big cities can be really popular, can often have a time limit to be there. Like, there might be a sign to say like limited to 90 minutes. So if you're someone who likes to linger for a while, do pay attention to that. Also, do beware of like all-you-can-drink specials. You'll see bars that are advertising these things like an hour of all-you-can-drink. The reason why you need to be beware is that price is often only for the first hour, and then they don't tell you what the price of the drinks is after that, and so it might be, 2,000 yen for an hour, all you can drink, but then the next drink that you order after that hour can cost you twice as much as the first hour to begin with. And they usually don't tell you when your hour's up as well, so pay attention to your watch so you know when the drinks aren't free anymore. In busy areas of Japan, like central train stations, you will find standing restaurants that have no place to sit, just high tables to stand at. You'll find noodles, sushi, even high-end steaks served in standing restaurants. All right, now you'll find a few different types of tables that you can sit at in Japan. The standard Western table. You will also find tatami tables. If you're seated at a tatami table on a tatami mat, then it means you need to take your shoes off before you go in there. And then you'll find this kind of like hybrid combination, which is a tatami booth. In this case, you're actually seated up on the tatami. You put your feet down in there, and for most of these, you take your shoes off, too. You should also know they're not really big into Western breakfast in Japan. Caveat, you will find lots of hotels that serve a Western breakfast, but the Western breakfast does not taste like a full English or an American breakfast. Everything is going to be a little bit different. The eggs are often, in my opinion, a little bit too runny. The bacon is often not crispy enough. The sausages often look like hot dogs. They are like Western-inspired breakfasts is what I would call them. If you're looking for a good Western breakfast, there are some places like, you'll find the Denny's or National House Pancakes, or you'll find Bill's from Australia. But what's interesting about them is they generally don't open early in the morning. They generally open at 10 a.m. or later, because pancakes in Japan, if you like pancakes, are often seen more of as a dessert or mid-afternoon snack than they are a breakfast food, because they're not super big on breakfast here. There's a Japanese-style breakfast, which is basically rice, miso soup, and some fish. Though in modern Japanese society, many Japanese on their way to work will often pick up their breakfast from a bakery or a convenience store and eat it, once they get to their desk in the office building up there. Now, they have taken pancakes to a whole new level. They call them souffle pancakes. They're these really big, fluffy pancakes. Again, they do really feel like a dessert. If you like pancakes, definitely check out their souffle pancakes. Now, in addition to these broad categories of cuisines, Japan is also really famous for its regional cuisine. And so if you want to take a deeper dive into some of these, you might enjoy my video, 6 Foods You Must Try in Fukushima, Japan, where I dive into some of their regional specialties like negi soba, which is the noodle soup that you eat with a giant green onion, and raw horse sashimi. It's not for everybody, but if you want to know what it tastes like, check out that video. Links also in the description below.